One of the biggest challenges in IELTS Speaking Part 2 is fluency. You may have good grammar, but if your ideas run out, you hesitate and lose confidence. That's where brainstorming comes in. It gives you material to keep on talking. Brainstorming simply means generating ideas. It doesn't have to be organized yet. The goal is just to collect words and phrases you can use later in your answer. Let's look at today's cue card. Describe a hobby you enjoy. You should say what it is, how long you have done it, how you practice it, and why you enjoy it. My favorite hobby is photography, so I'll brainstorm some related vocabulary for my hobby. One way is to think in collocations, not just word by word. Instead of just photography, let's say, take up photography. For example, you could say, I took up photography during lockdown when I suddenly had more free time. By thinking in collocations with examples, you prepare ready-made sentences you can immediately use in your Part 2 answer. Now, let's go back to the cue card and follow the provided sub-questions. For the first point, what it is, I have chosen photography. So I'll say, my favorite hobby is photography, and I've been really passionate about it in recent years. When you describe how you practice it, think about action phrases like spend time and take pictures. For example, these days I spend time going cycling with my camera and taking pictures of the sunrise. And finally, for why you enjoy it, jot down some adjectives like relaxing, refreshing, balanced. For example, it's really relaxing and refreshing, and it keeps me balanced after a stressful week. Of course, vocabulary is just the starting point. To actually expand your sentences, you also need linking expressions. For adding details, you can use structures like not only, but also, or as well as that. For example, continuing with photography, I enjoy photography because it's not only creative, but also relaxing after a stressful week. When you want to give examples, use phrases like, for example, or for instance. For instance, I usually wake up early on Sundays to cycle to the riverside and capture the sunrise with my camera. And finally, when you explain reasons, use phrases like, this is because, or the reason is that. For example, the reason is that photography helps me disconnect from work and recharge my energy for the week ahead. By combining vocabulary with these expressions, you don't just answer the bullet points, you expand them into a fuller, more fluent story. We've brainstormed words and expressions. Now let's see how they come together in a real Part 2 answer. My favorite hobby is photography, and I've been really passionate about it in recent years. I first took up photography about 3 years ago during lockdown, when I suddenly had a lot more free time. These days, I usually spend my weekends going cycling with my camera and taking landscape pictures. For instance, I often wake up early on Sundays and ride to the riverside to capture the sunrise or shots of people exercising. Besides that, I sometimes take portraits of my friends and family whenever we meet up. I enjoy photography because it's not only creative, but also relaxing after a stressful week. The reason is that photography helps me disconnect from work and recharge my energy for the week ahead. That's how you retain fluency with brainstorming. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video with more IELTS speaking topics to explore.